What is up, Freedom Inc. family? So I wanted to make something clear. Some of y'all seen the live stream today. I took it down though because there was a lot of personal information in it about my son's mom, grandmother, me. There's a lot of different stuff, so I took it down. For y'all that seen it, oh well, you've seen it. It is what it is. I didn't know some things were going to be said that were going to be said. I want my position to be clear of why I said what I said today. Now, they sentenced the guy 15 to life for murder and 8 to 12 years on voluntary manslaughter. Of course, my son's grandmother got up there and, push for, she didn't really push for the maximum time, but that's what she was doing. My son's mother did the same thing. It's about them. They made it about them, is what they did. I made it about what we can do now. My position was, what do we have control of now? And really, when I say we, I mean the court system. I don't mean we as in me. I had no control over it, obviously, because what I said didn't make a damn bit of difference. I stated that the 23 to life was too much time. That since the court decided to go against its promise to the victim's father, me, and allow a plea bargain, once I was already told that it would not happen no matter what, that we never would know what really happened. There's a difference in murder and killing. I know what I've been told, but I've been told all kinds of different things. Realistically, at this point, especially with added with what I was told today, I have no idea what happened that day. I know my son was shot and killed. I don't know what led up to it. I don't know what was said in that house. I don't know what was happening in that house. The one thing that we were told appears now to be different. Everything that we've been told has been hearsay because the state won't release any information because they are worried it will affect the conviction, if they get a conviction or not. So they allowed this kid, this 25-year-old kid, now 26, I think, to plea out to 23 years to life. My problem with it was this. If we're not going to go to trial, so all the evidence could be put out, so a jury can decide if he's guilty or not, then 23 years is too much time. He is admitting that he shot and killed these two people. Does he understand the difference between killing and murdering? I called immediately after then to talk to the prosecutor's office and tell them I wanted a copy of the discovery packet. The discovery packet is all the evidence that the prosecutor intends to use against the defendant. I was told that I didn't have access to that. I didn't have the right to obtain that. I would have to go through the defendant's lawyer in order to get that. Okay, well, who's the defendant's lawyer? I don't know his name. It wouldn't tell me, although it's right in front of them. If you're not going to have a jury, a plea bargain is a violation of one's rights. It violates your Fifth Amendment right to not incriminate oneself. Because when you sign that piece of paper, you're incriminating yourself. In my opinion, all plea bargains are unconstitutional. I think the Supreme Court's actually ruled on it, but you know what? The Supreme Court, it doesn't give the last say. The people do. We're the one who creates the laws, not the government. So that's my position. They didn't have a trial as they said they would. They violated his rights in not having a trial. And my position is, if you don't prove that he murdered my son, I have to consciously look at him as being innocent. That is what this country is supposed to be about. I say all the time that I default to freedom every time, and people are like, oh, bullshit, no, you can't default to freedom every time. Well, what about when it hurts you? I default to freedom every time. He may have murdered my son, but I wasn't going to stand up there and say, put him away for 23 years without the state proving to me he murdered my son. There's a difference between killing someone or murdering someone. The state didn't prove that he murdered anyone. We know that he killed somebody. We know he killed two people. We don't know why. Now, maybe my son, I don't know. I don't know. I've heard so much different shit at this point, I don't even know what to believe. I've made videos talking about what I was told happened from different people, trying to put a timeline together in our heads. When the police have it all right there, but they won't tell us shit. The second boy who was killed, his mother died last week. So she wasn't there, obviously. And everybody that spoke, You know, when I first sat down, my ex-mother-in-law, I forget the exact words she used. Something about disgust. But now, this is a Bible-thumping woman. The reason people ask me about religion, this is why I don't believe in organized religion, is because of this family right here. And I know that it doesn't, they don't represent all families. They're missionary Baptists. They will beat the Bible Wednesday and Sunday, be in the pulpit screaming Jesus and amens and all this stuff, and be watching porn and drinking Jack on Saturday. I shit you not. Not being funny about that at all. So I asked old Mary Jane, and that's her name, believe it or not, Mary Jane. There's a Mary Jean. Mary Jean, I'm sorry. Mary Jean, not Mary Jane, whatever. I call her Mary Jane, always have. I said, what happened to forgiveness? Forgiveness is not wasted another life, and that's what that's doing. We had the ability to, not we, the court had the ability to, you know, I think 23 years was excessive. He's 25 years old. I want to tell you what happens to 25-year-olds when they go to prison for 23 years old. He is now someone who has killed 2 people. He will come out a killer. And that's why I told them, you need to think about those families. Forget about you. Nothing can be done about you, how we feel. Nothing can bring our son back. We can affect what happens in the future, though. You know, any of us, just like I told the judge, any of us could be standing right there where he's at. Any of us. One choice away. He made a bad choice when you boil it down. And, you know, I could be wrong about this. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe there's just something in me that's just, you know, wired wrong, and I should be, I should want to wring the boy's neck like the one uncle said that for the other boy. But I don't. You know, if I could have sentenced that kid to anything, I would have sentenced him. If I had the option, if it was me and I got to sentence him, I would have sentenced him just to live a good life, man. To do what's right the rest of his life. You know, I want that kid. You know, he has older parents. His parents will be dead by the time. If he gets out in 23 years, his parents will be dead when he gets out. That's how old they are. They're older. They're up in age. They're up in their 70s. They didn't, you know, they didn't speak. They had, you know, they said that they were sorry, but they had nothing to be sorry for. They didn't do anything wrong. You know, they raised their kid the best way that they knew how to raise him, and he made a mistake. And I assure you, people make mistakes. Just like you make a mistake doing anything, you can make a mistake and somebody wind up dead. It happens. My biggest problem with it, though, is that our judicial system, our criminal justice system, is unconstitutional in the way it is. Everything about it is. Start to finish, it's 100% unconstitutional. There's no 2 ways about it. It's not the way it's supposed to be. Therefore, I am against it. But I just want to make that clear. I don't think I said exactly what I wanted to say. I mean, I only had the time driving there to think about what I was going to say this morning, because I didn't find out about it until this morning, that today was a sentencing day. I hope none of y'all ever have to go through this, man. I do. I pray that nobody, no father or no mother ever has to lose their child. You know, I used to always tell my dad, I hope that I die before you do, just because I don't, you know, like me and my dad are really close, but then I wouldn't want my dad to go through that, what I've had to go through. I know it's a weird topic. It's life, you know, it's life, but our lives are supposed to be different. How many people's lives have been stolen by the state, acting in a way, and in the end, it's about lining their own pockets. I mean, start doing some research into who owns these private prisons and who owns these drug rehabs and who. I mean, just everything. Nothing is how it's supposed to be, and we need to fix it. And the only way to fix it is to stand against it, to stand together against it, just like me trying to video today. Me alone. Jail. It was, worse was probably death, followed closely by jail, or just not being able to go in the courtroom. When I already had this conversation with the judge and he agreed I could film the courtroom as long as I went through these certain processes, which I had to get in the fucking building to go through anyway. And then I got upstairs, and I don't know if it was on the video or not, but I'd actually talked to the bailiff and said, hey, I need the media paperwork to sign so I can film today. You're not media, that's what I was told. Me alone, I ain't got much of an argument. Just put my head down and walk away like a little bitch and sit down in my chair where I was told to sit. Because you know we got to keep these front pews for, I don't know who for, to be honest with you. Nobody's allowed sitting in the front pews for some reason. But if there would have been 50 people there that demanded that I was allowed to walk in there and film, then it may have happened. At some point, we have to say enough's enough. We have to take a stand for what we believe in. We have to take a stand for what's right. Even if it hurts your fucking feelings, if it's right, you have to stand for it. Just like today. They never proved that kid did anything. Now, we knew he killed my son and the other boy because he said he did. We didn't prove he murdered them. They didn't prove that he murdered them. And I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. I'm not satisfied. There's no fucking closure. Closure is knowing exactly what happened. Knowing that this person is spending the rest of their natural life in jail. Because when he gets out, Ohio has this thing called PRC. They can send him back for 90 days or 9 months at a time for no more than half of his original sentence. So his original sentence, the minimum of his original sentence, I'm sorry. So there's a minimum of his original sentence is 15 to life. That's what they will go by for this PRC. Meaning that what they'll do is, and I've seen them do it to my buddies over and over again, they'll send them back 90 days at a time. They send them back just long enough to fuck everything up in their life. They got a house, job that screws it all up, so they come back out with nothing. They keep paying for this shit the rest of his life. This kid's life is destroyed now. We don't even know what happened. I won't, my son wasn't an angel by any means. I've never claimed him to be an angel. His grandma got there today and claimed that he was an angel, picking out baby names and shit, which I did not understand because nobody was pregnant. And he never talked about having a kid, or no, I don't know. She's just one of those weirdos, and she is. She's a fucking weirdo. I hope she sees this weirdo. I've heard a lot of stories about my son doing immoral shit to people. Whether it has to do with drugs or whatever, it don't matter. It's still immoral. If you steal somebody's weed, that's still stealing from somebody as far as I'm concerned. I don't condone drug use or anything. I'm just saying. My son had a name, apparently. I didn't raise my son. Not that that's an excuse. I wasn't back in his life until he was 16, and then it was few and far between times I seen him from the time he was 16 to 20. He didn't want to have much to do with me because I was on his ass about, Nick, look at where you're going. You're going to wind up in prison or dead. One of the two. In between all the conversations about arm yourself. If you're going to go to prison for this, you might as well fucking arm yourself and at least protect yourself, man. I don't know. But that's where I stand. They didn't prove guilt. In my opinion, plea bargains are coerced. I can't say. You know what I'm saying? Guilt. And they are. If you show somebody that's 25 years old, hey, if you sign this, you'll get 23 to life. You can have a chance at a life. Or, if you want to be a bastard and go to trial and prove your innocence, which is really supposed to be the state proving your guilt, we're going to max you out and give you 33 to life. And that's what happened to him. And he's like, let's see, 25, 23, 48, 30, 30 yeah, give me the 23. And that's what happened to you. They do it 10,000 times. Go look in your local county and see how many people are arrested every year and how many jury trials they have every year. And how many people have the charges dropped. And look at their conviction rate and how they get that conviction rate. 99.5% of convictions. And I'm not bullshitting you. This is in every county throughout the United States. It's not local to here. 99.5% of convictions are through plea bargains. And it's bullshit. It needs to change. We need to have constitutional court systems with actual juries of our peers. The voter roster needs to be tossed in the trash. I don't want somebody there ain't a voter in the world that's a jury that's on my peer, not one. But if I was to commit a crime and go to jury trial, that's who I would face. Face somebody that believes everything opposite I do, no matter which side of the scale they're on. I'm about freedom, man. And I will fight for freedom, even if it's for the man that killed my son. I hope y'all will do the same.